Hello and welcome to NFL Waiver Wire, MFN style. And we're live from Los Angeles, California, and from Transylvania. No, I'm just kidding, Casey.
There is a Transylvania here, but that's not where I am.
I know. You're right outside. You're right near where all the Revolutionary Wars happen, actually.
I'm very close to Gettysburg. I'm also close to Hershey, the sweetest place on earth. So
yeah, big tourist trap. But we had a lot of injuries this weekend, Casey.
Yeah.
My Bengals looked horrible, but I mean, so many players went down, including what's happening in Arizona with Connor going down.
Yeah.
I don't know when he's coming back.
He and Najee Harris are both out for the season.
Yeah, CD Lamb is out for at least 4 or 5 games. Who knows when Brock Montana's coming back?
They expect Montana back soon, but you also lost Mike Evans for at least a couple games there in Tampa Bay. So
who else is missing in action next week?
Next week you might not have Zach Charbonnet again. Aaron Jones is dealing with a hamstring. Well, you won't have Russ Wilson next week. That's a whole other story, though.
Oh, let's tell what happened with the Giants today. The big announcement, Casey, came a little sooner than I thought.
Not too much sooner. But if you had, and also Terry McLaurin is hurt, his quad. We don't know how long he's going to be out. So, but Jackson Dart was named the starter. I don't think he had much choice after watching Russell Wilson so far this season. What you saw against Dallas, where he threw for all that yardage and touchdowns, was just more a testament to Dallas's defense after what the Bears and the 4 touchdowns thrown there against Dallas last week. I think Dallas might have the worst, at least secondary, and maybe worst defense in football right now.
Oh, so pathetic.
Caleb Williams abused him. I
mean, it just must drive Jerry Jones crazy. I mean, I don't know how much longer that coach will be there. In all seriousness, he has to be next on the chopping block. If I had to pick one coach to be fired, he'll be up there. How about the Kansas City Baltimore? They're playing each other this weekend, Casey. Both of them 1-2. The winner will be 2-2. The loser's going to be 1-3.
I know.
Comment on that.
I don't know who to pick. Honestly, I like the Ravens, but their inability to win a game is disturbing. And Patrick Mahomes has proven when their back's up against the wall, he knows how to get the team to win regardless of how they're playing. But, Derrick Henry has been bad. He had one good game the opening week. He's been bad the last 2 weeks. He's fumbled in 3 straight games. Zay Flowers was non-existent last week. Mark Andrews came back from the dead, 6 receptions, 91 yards, 2 touchdowns. So I'm going to pick the Ravens to go 2-2. I think until Rashee Rice gets back and they find a better running back than Isaiah Pacheco, I'm gonna be fading the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'll take the Chiefs. They're at home. I don't see Mahomes going 1-3, and I hate Baltimore. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Let's talk a little bit about the Giants. I'm not talking about Dart. I'm not going to talk about Russell, but I will talk about Scatterboo. He's the top in the NFL.
Where did he go to college again?
He went to this small school in Tempe called Arizona State that beat Baylor over the weekend. Casey, are you on the bandwagon with Scatterboo?
I've been a Scatterboo fan since the college playoffs last season, watching him run around and over and through people and never. I mean, he's the kind of player, if he's on your team, everybody loves him. And I think even other fans have to love him because there's nothing flashy about him. He's kind of that lunch pail, put your head down and just whatever needs to be done, make it happen. He's Tyrone Tracy separated his shoulder, so he's going to be out for a few weeks. I don't think Devin Singletary is a threat to carries for Scatterboo. So he's going to be the primary back. So you're going to have a rookie backfield with Jackson Dart under center and Scatterboo behind him.
Did you have Scatterboo with more touchdowns than the Raiders running back who was drafted in the first?
I don't think anybody had that, but if you did, you're making a lot of money. I'd cash out now because the Giants' offense is still anemic. So Ashton Jeanty could catch up, but Scatter. I mean, look, this season, I'd rather us go literally 0-17 or 1-16, 2-15, something like that, and get another high pick, because we need better pieces on that offensive line. But with Dart and Scadaboo and Malik Neighbors, it's kind of exciting, a little bit, to see what we could be in a couple of years.
I like that, Casey. I like it a lot. So let's talk waiver wire. Who's your number one pickup this week?
Oh, it's Trey Benson. It's got to be Trey Benson. With James Conner going down for the season, Trey Benson, who is an exciting player already. He was a high draft pick last year for the Cardinals. It's rare in week 3 or 4 or whatever week of the season that you can get a true bell cow sort of running back, and that's what he's going to be in Arizona. I think if you're a James Conner owner, you should use your almost entire waiver budget if he's available to try to get him. But this is a guy who can play all 3 downs, who's already been productive when given chances this year. And so, running back has some injuries, as we just listed out at the beginning of the show. And if you can get somebody who's not going to be an RB1, I don't think he's a league winner, but he's definitely a difference maker. He's an RB2 for the rest of the season.
I like it. My number 1 was Benson too. Duh. My number 2 is Luther Vandross. No, I'm just kidding. Luther Burden of the Chicago Bears, the wide receiver. He's getting some volume. He's getting some ball. I like this kid. What's your take on him?
I like him a lot. I don't know if I like him for this season yet.
Okay.
I mean, he did all that on 3 catches, so it's not. I mean, he had a great day, and one of them was that flea flicker where he was just left untouched. That's why he went for that long touchdown. On the wide receiver side, I kind of like Christian Kirk a little more. We talked about Alec Ironmanor last week a little bit, and somebody who I'm looking to stash. And maybe I just love those Sun Devils. I don't know. Tell me about it. But Brandon Ayuk, I think, get him now. He'll probably won't be back for this week or maybe even next week. But once he comes back, he's going to be Brock Purdy's favorite target. Juwan Jennings has been playing dinged up or an injury.
Ricky Pearsall was the big go-getter.
Yeah, and I don't think Ricky Pearsall is going to take targets away from Ayuk once Ayuk gets back. We forget just how good this guy was, and now he's operating without Debo when he comes back. Ayuk would be, for me, if I have an IR spot or if I have a place to stash, I would quickly scoop Ayuk up.
Somebody else that got hurt we didn't talk about is CeeDee Lamb. I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I don't have him in any of my teams.
I have a couple shares of him, so I was pretty disappointed.
No, 0 shares, but CeeDee Lamb this week is not playing. But what's your take on his Cavante Turpin, I believe is his
Look, I like Turpin. He also returns kicks, so he can get you maybe a fluky touchdown here in the return game. I don't know how much I like the Cowboys right now. That's the problem with Turpin, but he's on my stash list. I don't know if he'd be on my must-add list. We have a question from PC. All right. Do you want Bill Krosky Merritt or Travion Henderson rest of season if you can only trade for one?
You go first. I'll tell you my take.
Oh, that's really tough. I like Travion Henderson's upside long-term. Ramondre Stevenson hasn't stayed healthy for an entire year, I don't think, in a while. And Krosky Merritt only played 1 year of Division I football and never held a heavy workload. Chris Rodriguez, I think, had the same snap share as him last week. Although he got the touchdown because of the goal line work, which shocks me because Rodriguez is a good goal line back. So if I had to pick one, I'm going for the lottery ticket upside of Travion Henderson, I think.
I like the Ohio State Buckeye also. I like Henderson a lot. I think he'll take that. I think by week 6 or 7, he'll be getting between 15 and 20 handoffs a game. And I think he'll have that job. He'll just get acclimated a little bit for the Patriots, but he will soon. And I think he'll have a really good year this year. I like Henderson a lot more than Bill. They call him Bill in Washington. But I think Washington, without, they're in trouble. They really are with, without their quarterback not playing. I mean, I
Yeah.
know they won last week. I know Mariota had a pretty good game, but I just think without Daniels playing every week, I think they're in a little trouble, especially with Scary Terry going out too. I'm worried about the Washington Commanders. I didn't say the R word, but um, I think Henderson is the logical choice. Somebody else that's on my waiver wire list, KC, that had a touchdown this week is Tyquan Thornton of the Kansas City Chiefs. Um, I know it's I know it's bad to pick a cheap wide receiver. You don't know who he's throwing the ball to, but I like what I saw of Thornton the past couple of weeks. And if one of your receivers went down, which there's a lot of receivers that are hurt, we talked about a few of them already. Um, I don't see why Thornton wouldn't be a bad person to pick up. What's your thoughts on Thornton?
No, I like Thornton also. I worry about whether he'll have a role when Rashi Rice comes back. Somebody who I like even a little bit more than Thornton is Trey Tucker of the Raiders, and they're going against the Bears this weekend.
He had a horrible game last week, but only 3 touchdowns.
I know, only 8 catches for 145 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's, that alone outpaces like many people you drafted in the first or second round of fantasy for the entire season. The Brian Thomases, the CD Lambs,
Did you see his last touchdown he caught and how open? I mean, I don't think they were he wasn't in the game plan at all for the team that was playing the Raiders.
I don't think they were going to play defense against him either. And now in week 4, he goes against the Bears, who are terrible against the pass. Horrible. And it's another matchup. And he's a target. He's become volume heavy, right? Like he's averaging over 7 or 8 targets a game. So, Geno Smith is also, if you're desperate at quarterback and need to pick up a streamer for this week, don't forget about Geno Smith also. One thing that I think is important to remind the viewers, there are no teams on bye in week 4, but week 5 starts the bye week. And so you also have to consider waiver wires this week for who you're going to need for buys for next week when Atlanta, Chicago, Green Bay, and Pittsburgh are all on a bye. So those are the things to think about ahead. You want to be 2 weeks ahead of your bye weeks because you don't want to be scrambling Tuesday night because you need to replace Drake London the following Sunday because he's on bye week 5. Look for, if you already don't have a replacement, look for somebody there who can help you out.
So what's your take on fantasy players playing overseas? We got a game in Ireland this weekend. Pittsburgh is playing Minnesota. I always feel it's always like a low scoring game, and I feel the teams are tired. They don't score many points. I stay away from those games. I don't start.
Yeah, now last year I did really well in DFS the one day when the Bears and the Patriots played in, I think they played in England. They might have played in Tottenham Stadium in London.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And they like Drake May and Caleb Williams each threw for a ton of yards and touchdowns. And so it's harder to predict how players are going to do going on that 5. Like if you're going from the West Coast to London, that's like an 8-hour time zone change. And so a 5:30 kickoff there is like a 9:30 kickoff locally for you if you haven't adjusted to the time zone. So it just makes it a little trickier. But if you drafted somebody in the first 2 or 3 rounds, they're playing regardless of what country or time zone they're playing in.
Weren't they giving away free beer last year in Ireland? I think I remember
I don't know. They might have.
I mean, they were just so. I mean, I remember how drunk these fans were. It was crazy. Casey, who else? And tight end wise, something that I've been picking up is that guy Strange.
Yep, Brenton Strange is a good pickup. If Harold Fannin is available in your league, he's a must. I think he's probably the number 1.
Cleveland, yep. Anybody else? Somebody else that's picking up this waiver. I like him too. Is Hunter Henry of New England?
I don't think I think he's over 60% owned at this point. But
how about last year? He was like in the 20s. Remember? I remember I picked him up like off and on in many leagues.
But he's proven to be. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns this week. He's Drake May's kind of go-to guy. How about your Cincinnati Bengal Mike Gesicki? Noah Fant is out for a concussion. Yeah, went out with a concussion, so he's probably gone for this week.
I don't know. After last week's disaster, I mean,
I know, but I'm just saying if you're desperate.
I mean, I know we're 2-1. I get it. I know we're playing Denver.
Oh, how bad did they look, though? Oh, man.
I mean,
their offensive line might be worse than the Giants.
I mean, the Bengals look so bad, and Browning looks so bad. I mean, all these people spent their whole waiver wire on Browning. I don't know why. But, I mean, he's always in. If you want to make money, just bet interception every week for Browning. He'll throw at least one or two picks every game.
Do you think Taj Brooks, speaking of Cincinnati and bad, Chase Brown has been disappointing. Do you think Taj Brooks is going to start getting?
Hold on, just stop there. Higgins has been disappointing. Chase has been disappointing. Brown, I mean, the whole team has been disappointing fantasy-wise. It's been a disaster fantasy-wise for Bengal players. It's like
Today.
No, it's like I know they're 2-1 and I get it, but fantasy-wise, player-wise, it's a disaster. They picked it. I mean, I didn't have in one league. I did not have the first pick in any of my leagues, so I did not get Chase, which I'm so happy about. Because
unfortunately, I had the number one pick in one league, and I got Jamar Chase, and then wrapped around and got Drake London, and they're both.
Oh my, yeah. I mean,
all right. Would you trade? Hello, Manuel. Welcome to the show. Would you trade Bucky and Tyreek for Bowers and Breece Hall? Yes, I would. I mean,
Bucky
and Tyreek Hill
for Bowers. I would do that deal too.
I think I would. I believe Breece Hall is going to be decent this year. Bowers, I think, is when healthy. If we're assuming his knee is improving, I think he's more consistent than Tyreek week to week. So I would probably do that.
Just having that tight end like him on your team gives you an extra. It's like having an extra.
Yeah, I guess it depends who your other wide receivers are, because if you're in a traditional league where you need 3 wide receivers and only 1 tight end, and you can't. You don't have somebody to replace Tyreek with in that wide receiver spot. Maybe. Okay.
Casey, here's a quick question. Tyreek Hill, really quick. Will he be traded by week 7? Yes or no?
If they lose this weekend, yes.
Oh, okay. Good. You heard it first. Casey Scheinfeld.
All right. Brad McCoy, 24. Welcome to the show, bud. I'm 0-3 with CeeDee Lamb. I already have Rice on the IR. I feel like I need to make a move on one of those 2 to save my season. 2 flex league. Should I try to get a 2-for-1 for CD? Yes, I would. I would target, maybe you can get a 2-for-1 with somebody like Emeka Egbuka, who's doing really well, but not nearly CeeDee Lamb. It has to be from a team who's started the season really well, because they have to be 3-0 or 2-1 so that they can handle having CeeDee Lamb on the bench for a couple weeks and losing out on that production. If you're going for another team that's struggling or another team that's fighting to get back into this, they're not going to trade for somebody who's out for 3 to 4 weeks. But I would probably, like, maybe you could get Egbuka and Troy Franklin type, or a Trey Tucker type, or a Luther Burden, like Ross said earlier, somebody who you can project going forward might be big. If Brandon Ayuk, try to trade CD for a good somebody back, and Brandon Ayuk if he's owned and on an IR slot, because I believe he's going to get back. Running back wise, if you can get a Trey Benson, if you could get maybe if somebody doesn't believe in ETN yet and get somebody like that for a flex spot, those are guys who I would target. But yeah, if you're trading CeeDee Lamb, a top 5 pick in almost every draft, you need to get 2 back, even if he's missing 2 or 3 games.
Casey, another quiz question. I love just giving you quiz questions because you usually get them right. Which running back has the most fantasy points so far in the season? Don't look at it.
Jonathan Taylor, I think. Right?
There you go. You got it. Boom. Got it right.
Yeah, I didn't need to look up that one. So
no, you don't. You did not have to look up that. That's an easy one. Did you have Jonathan Taylor doing this well?
I have him in a couple best balls, so I'm happy there. They also offered me JSN and Tyrone Tracy for Bucky, or should I take the Bowers one? Well, Tyrone Tracy's hurt, so he's
probably going to lose his job too. But keep going.
And he's not getting the job back when he comes back.
Right,
I like JSN better than Bucky, but you have to have a running back ready to go to replace Bucky, because JSN is a target monster. What does he have, like a over 50% target share. Sam Darnold just finds him and peppers him. So that's certainly, I would do it if I had a decent running back to put in Bucky's place, because Tracy, you can't count on him for the rest of the year.
Tracy's value is really low. Don't think you're getting anything with him. Cam Stadbu is going to be the majority running back there.
Would you trade J.K. Dobbins for Rashee Rice right now? 0 PPR. So it's not a PPR league, I guess is what he's saying. Would I trade?
No.
Rashee Rice is suspended for 6 games, right?
Yeah, 6
so
games.
He's not coming back till week 7.
And again, Kansas City does not have a primary receiver. It's not like he gets the ball 10 times a game.
Well, Rice will be the.
I don't.
Oh, no, he just said it is. Oh, it is a PPR league. Okay, he corrected himself.
Right, but I'll believe it when I see it, Casey. I just don't trust Mahomes getting the ball to people every week. I don't know.
What was the snap share? Does anybody know? Let me check. Snap share between R.J. Harvey and J.K.
R.J. Harvey's invisible. I mean, R.J. Harvey's one of the biggest disappointments in fantasy football this year. So there's no contest. Harvey's not getting the ball. Somebody that I do like waiver wire that we didn't talk about is Blake Corum of the Rams. I think he's going to get the ball a little more coming up too, and I think it's a good game.
They seem to like him a lot. Although Kyron Williams is still the better.
I know, but I'm saying just to have him in backup, stash him away. If you have room, especially with all these IR spots filling up, and you'll be able to take people without dropping somebody. It could make sense.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Blake Corum, and even from what I read, the Rams have gone on the record saying they want to get him more involved. Yep. Whether you believe that necessarily, who knows?
I heard last week you mentioned that you liked Cleveland last week over Green Bay. You're one of the few people in the fantasy business that predicted that.
I appreciate you giving me that credit, but I did not say that. I certainly said fade Josh Jacobs because Cleveland's run defense is legit, but I would not have. I might have picked him to cover the spread because they shut everybody down, but I would not have picked them to win.
In all seriousness, I mean, can you imagine you're looking at Cleveland? You have Jordan Love as your quarterback. You're like smiling. You're thinking he'll have like 2 or 3 touchdowns. I mean, if you started Love, you probably lost your game.
Yeah, if you played any Green Bay players. But the same thing happened the week before with Baltimore. I mean, Cleveland just has that good of a defense. They just have that bad of an offense.
Now, I also heard you predicted Atlanta would be shut out by
shut out. I know. How crazy is that?
30-0. I know we don't, I know we're a fantasy show, but this does have to do with fantasy because if you started any Atlanta Falcon, which I'm sure
I did. And did you see what they did in response? They fired their wide receivers coach. Like that's the reason they didn't score any runs. It said wide receivers coach Hilliard. I don't know if that means Ike Hilliard or not. If you remember the old University of Florida wide receiver who was so fun to watch and under was he might have been Urban Meyer. I think he was, or was he the end of the Spurrier? Was he the end of the Spurrier time?
But there were so many crazy. And now Atlanta plays this week. I love Atlanta this week, bouncing back, and whoever they play, they're going to beat.
I think they play San Francisco.
I like Atlanta this week. Anytime a team goes back home and gets shut out, they always play well. Players are afraid to lose the job. Casey, anybody else waiver wire wise that we missed that you like?
Let's see. Quarterbacks. I think Geno Smith is my favorite pickup of the quarterbacks for this week.
Yeah,
I like Woody Marks a little bit in Houston, not because the Texans have been awful, but he's starting to get. They had Dameon Pierce inactive this week, so it was just pretty much Marks and Chubb and Marks in the passing game. So I like that. I think Cedric Mullins could be a good play. Cedric Tillman, I'm sorry, coming up this week.
Hey, Cedric Mullins, what are you talking about?
Cedric, they're going against Detroit, so it's going to be a throw the ball kind of game for them.
It's so funny how Detroit plays so much better at home, and they go on the road, and they play well, but not. I think on when they play in that dome, I just think they play so much better.
But I mean, it's kind of the guys we talked about. So
Now, do you think? I really think Flacco's going to lose his job soon.
Is it going to go to Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders?
I was going to tell people to pick up Dylan Gabriel.
Okay.
If you're in a super flex league and there's not many quarterbacks available in your league,
right? Yeah, I would pick up Jackson Dart too. I don't think he's going to be
picked up. I mean,
yeah, he's going to be at best a QB2 going forward, but at least he's willing to use his legs a little bit more. And he uses a short passing game. Russ likes to hold the ball for as long as humanly possible and try to throw it downfield. So don't expect big numbers from him, but he could get that little bump early on. But I would only in super flex leagues and two quarterback leagues is Jackson Dart really.
So just to review, pickup wise, pick up the 2 Treys. That's easy, right? The guy
Trey Tucker and Trey Benson. Yep.
Yep, that's easy, right? And I also like Luther.
You like Luther? Yep. I like Iomenor and
like
Trey,
Woody
and Cedric Tillman too.
You like
Woody Marks. Woody Marks, I think, and Trey Benson, obviously we said, and Blake Corum. Quarterbacks, Geno maybe. I think Marcus Mariota, if Daniels is out again, can give you some numbers. But
he looked really good. He ran, he scored, he threw the ball. I mean, he looked really like
here you go. So this is a buy low, sell high question. Do you want Quentin Johnston and Quinshon Judkins, who you're selling high, or do you want Chase Brown and London rest of season? I mean, Chase Brown was probably a top.
You can't give up on Chase. You can't give
up on London and Chase Brown at this point. No, I would definitely. I think Quentin Johnston has proven me wrong that he's in his 3rd year. He's becoming a real kind of X receiver and learning how to catch better. And I really love Judkins. I think he's exciting for the future. But if it's a redraft league, I'm not giving up on 2 elite talents in Drake London and Chase Brown just yet.
I like that. So Casey, that's our show for today.
It is.
I will see you hopefully Thursday.
I hope so.
And if you guys have any more questions, you can email us or text us right where you're watching the show, and we will respond back. But Casey, really quick, what's the Thursday game real quick? I just want to ask you about that. Really
I don't know.
I know what it is. I was looking at it earlier.
Seattle at Arizona.
I think there'll be a lot of scoring. Seattle, they're a good team. They should be 3-0. They lost 1 game to San Francisco. They should have won that game. I like Seattle. But that's the show, and we'll see everybody, if not Thursday, for sure, same time Tuesday at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Eastern.
All right.